Queen's Comic Podcast. Hey, let's go.
All right, go for it.
Hey, it's the Queen's Comic Podcast. I'm Billy Bombs.
I'm Ian.
And this week's episode is kind of fun. We have a bunch of shows this weekend. We're working, I think 4 different shows, different people that we all work to. The Queen's Comic Party has spread out like an octopus.
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, I am at Brooklyn Comic Con. Rob, one of the vendors, is doing Queen's Card Party on Saturday. And then we have John the Mailman running Queen's Comic Party in Woodside, Queens.
And I'm
And
going
it's
on
all different people.
I'm going on a field trip. So
Oh, yeah. You want to tell people where you're going?
I'm going to the Frazetta Museum in Pennsylvania.
And what was the first thing everybody said? Why is it not in Brooklyn?
Yeah, well, I mean, because his family probably doesn't own property there anymore.
Well, you can't open up something like that. Like the museum, I'm sure, is inexpensive.
I mean, it's based. It's set up on like his estate in Pennsylvania, where he's owned a property. His family's owned property for decades, so it's presumably paid for a long time ago. Real estate's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, than it is in Brooklyn these days. So, and it's not a museum that's going to get 1 million visitors a day, you know. So,
True.
probably just for financial reasons, it's out in Pennsylvania.
Well, it makes sense, but it's still cool to see his stuff in person.
Yeah, I'm going to take as many pictures as they'll let me.
True. No flash photography, buddy.
No, I know better than that.
Cool. What else is coming up for you? Anything?
No. This weekend is my weekend away, and then, I mean, we're probably going to go to Garden State Comic Fest the weekend of the 22nd, 23rd.
Yeah, we have a busy weekend coming up, but by then we'll have another episode up to talk about what happened there.
Yeah,
but we could talk about we had Forest Hills Comic Con over the weekend.
We did our second year doing it.
Yeah, it's always kind of a thing to do for fun because it's not like a lot of books move because a lot of kids there are super young and it's always new kids because it's kids graduate high school and move on.
Right.
But it's a comic book club run by a great teacher, and this year he had Kyle Baker there, Plastic Man famous.
That was kind of a big deal for both of us. Why don't you talk about your experience with Kyle? Because I talked to him very briefly. He was very friendly, but he was busy, so I didn't want to bother him. But you had more of a conversation. You got some stuff to show off.
Oh yeah, I got a sketch from him, and I'll show the sketch in a second while you tell about the some other stuff. But he was so much fun and very nice. And then I think his wife was like, "Oh, we want to do more local shows because we live out here." So I was like, "Oh yeah, hopefully he comes to our stuff." So we gave him the schedule for Brooklyn so that he can come out there. And I got a sketch from him. To be honest with you, that was the highlight of the day, other than making fun of a lot of vendors with each other with the Royal Collectibles.
Right. Yeah.
Because we had a ball with them.
They were
the only thing I regret is I bought a bunch of books off of Bags and Borbs for sale, and he couldn't make it because his house got demoed, like his living room. That's why we don't have a new commercial for any of our shows.
Okay, I didn't know that.
His office is they found more stuff in the walls, and he didn't have time to take his computer out. So they tore apart his basement. It's almost done, but you can't get your work material out. You can't get your laptop. You can't get nothing. And it drove him nuts. He was like, I give up. It's got to stay down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you feel bad because you're like, I really want my stuff out, but he couldn't do nothing. So he was like, I apologize. Like, don't worry about it. Because we do a commercial for every show, and now it's all on pause.
Yeah. It's all right.
But do you want to tell me about the books you got signed? I'm going to go grab the sketchbook.
Yeah, sure. I only got the one book signed by Kyle, and it's on the other side of the room, so I don't have it in front of me. But it was cool to talk to him. Like I said, when I was there speaking to him, he was busy inking like a full-size Howard the Duck sketch for somebody who had, paid him to do the commission. But a friend of ours, I guess Jasper, who's just gotten into art college, went up to Kyle and started talking to him about technique and about comic book illustration and stuff. And I guess Kyle said to him, "Oh, hey, sit down if you want." And he sat behind his table with him for, I think, 3, if not 4 hours. Most of the show, he was behind his table just watching and learning from,
that was the best.
I was kind of jealous of the kid, to be honest. I was like, what a cool opportunity, for somebody, especially if you're into illustration and hoping to make it and going to school for comic book illustration specifically, to get to sit down and spend 4 hours of quality one-on-one time with somebody so established and with such a really distinct, unique style. Like that's got to be worth more than like any classroom experience, I would think.
Oh, 100%. And on
Yeah.
top of that, he like recently, I wish he came out last year when they came out with what is it, the Captain and the Winter Soldier or Falcon and the Winter Soldier show, because it was based on parts of it. It was based on his comic book.
See, I don't know most of his Marvel stuff. I read some of his Deadpool work, and that was pretty fun. But I mostly know his indie stuff and his work for the DC, like his Plastic Man work. And what really connected with me was way decades back when he followed Bill Sienkiewicz on The Shadow, and in the late 80s. And I was buying those off the rack as a kid. And granted, I was maybe a little too young for the content. Some of it was going over my head, but I just recently put together that run after I don't know what happened to my original copies. I've had so many comics come and go over the years, but just a couple of months ago, I found the last issue I needed to finish that set. And I reread it, and it holds up ridiculously well. And Kyle Baker's artwork is awesome in that series. And I remember thinking when I was, in my early teenage years that it was awesome then. I also have, I bought it from my wife, but we have a Classics Illustrated book that he put out a few years back that adapts Alice in Wonderland. That's also really good match.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
From what I know, he's the one who did Red, White, and Blue, the Captain America story about the original Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah, I haven't read it. I know it, but I haven't read it.
I have the single issues, and for some reason, the trade is not here. And it's kind of throwing me off because it's definitely one of my regular Captain America trades. But I guess that's got to put it on the list to go find.
Yeah.
One of the books I got, well, you got it signed because I was too tired to go back up. He signed Instant Piano.
Right. Which is pretty cool.
And
I had him
this
sign
is like some random Dark Horse book.
Yeah, I had him sign a Piranha Press book called Fast Forward. That is, I don't know, in a box somewhere over there. And I
like Piranha Press. That's where I get the beautiful stories for ugly children. Is Piranha Press?
Yeah, they put out some cool stuff.
Yeah, I love indie stuff. But we also got one other indie book that's worth a fortune now. We got Crying Boy fresh printing.
We did. Have you read it yet?
No, I've had these books forever and I never did, but he told me this printing and it's signed and he gave it for like a really good price. All I know is that people love to buy all the art.
Yeah. It's
like a thing for everything he does. So he didn't even realize how much everybody wanted his stuff like from that, but it's going to get picked up for an IP and I wish him the best.
He seemed like a nice guy. I haven't had time to read it yet either. It's just been a busy couple of days, but the artwork is really strong.
Well, he's one of our very first vendors at our third show. Neil O'Rourke. Huh? He's been doing it for a while with us. That was 3 years ago, and he's been coming all the time.
Yeah.
And then we had a new guy, which I'm sorry to say I didn't catch his name, who did the Misfits books.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either. He also did the King Diamond comic recently,
which I got.
Yeah.
I couldn't help it, but he drew them, but whoever wrote it's like a little funny.
Yeah, the writing honestly isn't. I like the art. No shame on the guy who drew it, but the writing is not. In the King Diamond book, at least, it's not great.
Yeah, but I like his style. His style will fit in for a lot of horror conventions.
Yeah, absolutely. I like his style too. I think he's got a lot of talent, and I haven't read the Misfits book. Maybe it's fantastic. I don't know, but his artwork is cool. It's unique. Sort of has like a bit of a kind of a 70s indie underground type feel to it. Kind of
fair enough.
Stuff, but definitely puts his own spin on it. And he was a great guy to sit beside. He was very friendly. Yeah,
thank God. We were lucky.
We had good neighbors.
Well, before we go into too much detail on the next books, we're doing Brooklyn Comic Con, and they put me right next to St. Mark's Comics. After I had my big harangue, and I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" But supposedly, I have a 10x10 space, so I'm gonna put 2.5 tables in there in the rack.
Okay.
I'm gonna find out tonight how it's gonna go because of the store we got. We're gonna do a big sale and move a lot of rummage stuff. So all the comics are coming to the convention, and those are all on sale.
Okay.
So I'm hoping the best. I'm gonna double check what comic book artists are there, but like you never know. This convention is a little bit like very cosplay-esque and different stuff, but it's in a big venue, so I can't wait to see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm curious how it works out. I'm going to be away this weekend, so I won't be joining you, but I want all the details when you get back.
Don't worry, there'll be a podcast just for Brooklyn Comic Con.
All right, that's fine.
Trust me, I got 2 days of bullshit to run. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see. Usually I'm super amped and I have a lot of hope, but I learned to like have better expectations at every show, and we just roll with it, you know?
Yeah.
Another weird book I found. I was going through those books we picked up that weird collection,
Uh-huh.
but on the back is an ad for West Village Comics from the '90s.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and what does it say? We specialize in the best selection of independent underground comics, as well as posters, trading cards, limited edition hardcovers, and art prints that feature new and classic works. And then names everybody like Mobius, Hernandez. But it says like every independent book. You'll also find a complete line of products from Fantagraphics, Eclipse, Dark Horse, Last Gas, Ripoff Press, Tundra, Eros, Kitchen Sink, Catalan, and Paper Tiger. I don't even know what Paper Tiger is.
Yeah, I don't know the Paper Tiger either.
Yeah, and you get $20 rebate credit in the store. If 10% off with this purchase. This ad expires on December 1st, 1992. They had 2 stores, 163rd Bleecker Street, 212-777-27770. I started laughing. Oh, and a fax. And then they had an art gallery, 943rd Avenue. This makes me so happy to find.
Did you ever go there?
Yes, and I'll tell you what I found. That's why I'm getting there.
Okay.
All right. They used to sell the weirdest, most kinkiest artwork. And they would have statues of the weirdest shit I ever seen in my life. They had one of Superman nailed to a cross with his guts coming out. This is a statue.
Oh, wow.
That somebody made. And it was just on the floor like it was nothing. With his guts all hanging out. Then there was another Batman one next to it. And mind you, these are about 2 feet tall and 1.5 feet wide. So these are like the kind you'd have in your like in church.
Right.
And Batman's nailed to a cross. With even more guts and blood and everything hanging out. And I was like, man, the Village, bro.
Yeah.
Back when the Village was cool.
Right.
And I love that store because you found a lot of trade paperbacks because stores didn't carry trade paperbacks. Not back then. It was just single issues and back issues, but galore. And it would always be one wall of trades, but it's not like us. Like you have a wall of DVDs, and I got I got this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
This is for me is a pleasure. They would say that, and like some of the nerds would say. And I love this shit. But it was an awesome store to see something like that. The layout was cool. They had a little staircase, I think, in the back, and it was dope. But I also posted something else for New York City. If you saw the other day, I posted Roger's Time Machine.
Mm-hmm.
I found vintage photos I saved from finding them somewhere on, I guess, MySpace.
Right.
And I right-clicked them and saved them. But it also had the closing, and it was kind of weird seeing a store when it's vibrant and in closing.
Yeah.
And anybody listens to our show, please go out and take photos of your comic shop. Take photos of you hanging out with your friends in the comic shop.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your best of memories. You don't know what's going to bring after that. That's why I would tell people at comic parties, take a photo, hang out, have fun. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Take photos of shows, too, when you're at conventions and stuff.
Your shows, forget. That's my favorite trend. Like, I know some influencers were doing that stuff before. Now all of us do it. Yeah. I take a photo with everybody. I've Adam Hughes, R.L. Stein. R.L. Stein was the first guy I was like, that wasn't somebody who made me pay, to take a photo. I was like, yo, do you mind if I take a photo? Like, oh, yeah, come on in. And he was the funnest dude.
Yeah.
But since then, I realized everybody, I always ask everybody, hey, yo, do you mind? And then they're always cool. What else can I really, you know what it is? It's not that we're going on the fly. It's just that we had so much over the weekend, but not much happened over the weekend.
No, we were busy, but
it was a lot of stalemate.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like Hot Flips had to cancel because the Pride Parade ran right through the venue, so we couldn't park to even set up a show on Saturday.
Right.
I had to work a lot of weird shows also, but it was fun. You know what I mean? I'm really excited. This month is a lot of shows. Huracan's coming up on June 20th, so since we're having a barbecue on the 20th and we're going to go on that Sunday, I'm going to work in the morning, then I'm going to go to your barbecue, and then we're going to go after. It'll be fun, but I like the fact that we're really filling in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And every weekend is something, and it's dope. We're having fun with everything. Um, I don't know. I bought Legos the other day, and I was so
Legos?
happy to get them, and they were so tiny and shitty. I was so upset.
Was it like a set or something that you bought?
I bought DC superhero ones thinking they were big
Okay.
compared to like my Rick and Morty ones, which is some like secondary company, or DC had miniatures, mini mates, and they're so tiny compared to those other ones. Lego is really small. I don't get it. I'm sorry. It just bothers me because I'm looking at it now. I'm like, why is it so small? You know what I mean? And it's so dumb. And it took me forever to put it together. It was so tedious.
Oh, before I forget, the one thing that I did buy at the Forest Hills Comic Con. So every year there's a guy there who only he's got boxes of trades.
Oh, yeah. You found some great trade.
Found that for $5. So I was pretty happy with that.
That was excellent. I got one trade from him. I got two trades from him.
Yeah.
And he said everybody looked at it, but nobody bought it because they thought it was too expensive. But I was like, oh, I would love that. And it was these two. This one, where it says brought to light a graphic docudrama, 30 years of drug smuggling, arms deals, and covert operations that robbed America and betrayed the Constitution. This is two books in one. This is Flashpoint. And this one was it had some good artists in it. Told to Joyce Bradner and Thomas Yeats by Martha Honey, Tony Evigran, and the Christic Institute. And it's very oddball, but I grabbed it because I like oddball. But then when you flip it over, this is where you were like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, is by Alan Moore and Bill Sienkiewicz.
Sienkiewicz, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry,
It's
Sienkiewicz.
all right.
And it's all based on a lawsuit. So I didn't know Alan Moore did this. So this to me is excellent. So and this part is look at the artwork. It's some trippy bullshit only this guy can do. And I thought that was awesome. And the guy was like, yeah, $5 each. I thought they were 20 each. He was like, no. I bought all my peanut trades from him.
Mm-hmm.
But I already bought them all. So I was good like last year.
Yeah.
And nice guy, super nice guy. But then there was this other book that everybody's like, oh, you can get it cheaper somewhere else. But I was like, who cares? The Art of Jack Davies.
Right.
And I thought this was incredible. Because I guess this is the guy who did all the artwork for Mad Magazine or something, or Cracked.
Yeah, he did Mad Magazine. Before that, he did a bunch of crime and horror comics for EC.
Yeah. And this is awesome. And it's in there. It's like, varsity romance, like the love of a football player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Screenplay for murder. How do you not love this stuff? And then Mad covers, and then check out the Superman.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. Actually thinking of this, you told me a story about my favorite artist on the side is the Megaton Man.
Yes.
And Don Simpson. You're like, oh, he did other comics. I said, what'd he do? And you told me I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, he did some adult work under the alias of Anton Dreck.
What a corny name, but what an awesome thing to do.
I won't repeat all the titles, but one he did do Forbidden Frankenstein. We can say Forbidden Frankenstein on YouTube without getting in trouble. So
wow, the rest of that bad?
No, they're not that bad. There's no kids are watching the show. The other one he did was I believe it was Wendy Whitebread Undercover Slut.
Did we do some of the books you gave me last week from that collection?
What was that?
Did we do like Deadline from that collection like this?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Yeah, these are books we got also from that collection.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm trying to collect all these oddballs. But this is one of my favorites is the Hellboy costume with Madman costume, the mask, and Ghost.
Yeah, I remember that cover.
I think this is an Adam Hughes cover, right?
Yep.
And then this was an odd one called Wigged Out First.
Yeah.
Kelly Bundy or Christina Applegate story.
Yeah, you need that.
Yeah, because I collect the Bundys. And then you showed me this one, and I couldn't put it down.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
So
what a
good.
beautiful cover.
Some of Vigil's best work.
This one I found in the pile. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
It was the Hellboy Insider, and then I started going through your stuff, and I didn't know what you were doing with this, but you put out a book I wanted real bad.
Yeah, it's a cool book. It's not an especially expensive book, but there's a lot of good artists in there that do like 3 or 4 page stories. So it's kind of a cool anthology.
Yeah, but I love the covers, man. And right now, Boris Vallejo is doing a signing
Uh-huh.
for Royal,
Is he?
and I thought that was kind of cool. So, but that's not him, but it's like similar artwork. And then there's another book. You said you already had it, so I grabbed it.
Yeah, David Quinn wrote that one. The guy who wrote Faust, and then you got the Tim Vigil cover there, so it's hard to go wrong. It's kind of a cool vampire story.
And then you had a tribute to Sandman from Planetary, and I can't believe you haven't read this yet.
I haven't finished Planetary.
You got to
I've read
finish
like
it, man.
the first half or so, and I've enjoyed it. It's just there's only so many hours in the day.
True, but I'm still gonna harass you for it.
That's fine.
I wanted to read this because I'm really into World's Finest, and now that they're really gonna go deep dive into these in the animated films, I'm excited. And then this guy, I want to say there's a Neil Adams book, but I can't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
The faces are excellent.
Yeah, it looks like it could be his work.
Yeah, but what a great drawing of.
Should have asked his daughter. She was there.
Oh yeah, I forgot she was there. I didn't even get a chance to. And then they were selling signed books for $1.
Oh, that was in Royals box.
Yeah, they had like I grabbed as much as I can of cool stuff. I wanted to show some of the books in here because like some of them are all up our alley, and you know better. You know stuff, so I didn't get a chance to show it to you when we were leaving. Like Alf, the mutant Metcalf. I'm a big Quesada fan, so I love this cover of Marvel Knights.
That's a cool cover.
Yeah, turns out this is a variant cover that they were doing back then, like the early variant type shit. These I always grab for. I think I sold one of these and then another one.
Yeah.
I like it, and then this one drove me nuts.
Yeah, I remember you grabbed that. That's a good one too for $1.
Yeah, no, but look, it's got holes in it.
Oh, well, that's why it's $1 instead of 25.
Yeah, and it was so annoying. But here's the one that I need help with because this guy's artwork was so well done, but I don't believe it's him.
I don't
Is
know.
that Kirby?
It absolutely looks like Kirby.
Yeah, I didn't have time to open it, so I was like, "Oh, I'll save it for the show."
Okay.
But there's a guide called Atlas book that came out for Atlas Comics, or was it? You know what I'm talking about? The one where it's like a caveman looking thing. It looks like Kirby.
That's a DC book.
Atlas?
Yeah, it was an issue, a first issue special, I think.
I don't know. It was. You sure it wasn't that company that like all?
The character
Nope.
Atlas, I'm 99.9% sure was from a DC first issue special book.
Yeah,
Pretty sure I have it.
fair enough. This one doesn't say who's the cover artist, but it says it's G. Tuska is the artist for the
Oh, George
comics.
Tuska? Yeah.
Is that his style?
I don't remember his work being that Kirby-esque.
Yeah, but I did learn from around this time that there's a lot of Kirby covers.
Mm-hmm.
That like he never did an Iron Man book, but he did a cover.
Yeah.
And that's when he gave Iron Man a nose.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, it's probably under that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's a keeper for me because I like it. I'm sure somebody's gonna roast me for not knowing it. You know what I mean?
It's all right. We're not prepared.
Yeah, but I like not being prepared because I think we have a little bit more smoothness to talking.
Yeah.
But like you can't. A lot of times whenever I see guys doing shows, it becomes a 4-hour event or one guy just babbling at everybody else. I'm like, yo, relax.
Right. Now we're all
You know
about
what I mean?
all about spontaneity.
Well, the thing is, though, it's like we can talk about some stuff always on time, but everything else is supposed to be kind of like comfortable.
Yeah.
Like we're doing like a giveaway for the next show. It's this 20-year anniversary of Death Note.
Nice.
I gotta repost it because we have all the manga kids coming.
Yeah.
And hopefully the manga moves. You know what I mean?
Hopefully.
You never know, but like I just hope it's a lot of kids. A lot of new faces.
Right.
It's 5,000 people are going to be at the show that's already sold out as of yesterday. So let's see. It's new faces, new comics, new everything.
Yep.
And you just hope for the best.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And
You want to see the books I picked up? You were working on Saturday. You want to see the books I picked up?
Hell yeah.
I got a stack here. I got so
you know you always got a good stack of books every week.
yeah, these came from Street Side Anthony. He had his first outdoor sale on Saturday. I was supposed to set up and sell at it, but my elevator was broken and I wasn't going to carry long boxes down 6 flights of stairs. So it's working now though. I fixed it. But
they fixed it. They got the paperwork.
Yeah, it's fixed now. Yeah, it's working. But at
Thank
any rate,
God.
these were all either from Anthony or from JC Lone Wolf or from Erod. This one came from Erod,
Fathom.
Mike Turner Classic.
Mhm.
I got this one. Actually, this one came from Tom. Tom had some dollar bins, and this stunning Milo Manara cover.
I collect that Carmen books just for the cover. I've never read a single
You
one.
should read it. It's fantastic. It's the best story about a naked ghost lady you'll probably ever read.
Well, the thing is, I got scared because I liked the cover so much. The red one with her in the skeleton costume.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting it tattooed until I found the Elvira.
Okay. Yeah, but you
I like
should read
skeleton costumes.
it was one of my favorite miniseries from when it came out like 2 years ago. But I did not know that there was a Milo Manara variant for it because I don't really care about variants most of the time. But I found it for $1. Happy to grab it. I got the first 2 issues of Bizarre Sex. I won't show the first one on camera because it's explicit, but some early underground stuff from Kitchen Sink. Oh, these 2 books were Whatnot scores. I think the titles kind of are self-explanatory there.
Yeah. Well, which guy you bought off of? Gotham.
Chill Comics.
How much?
I think they were $10 each, if I remember right, which is a pretty good
That's
price.
not bad.
Yeah, and their
Some
first.
of these guys jack up the prices so much that you're like, just I don't care.
That's a tough series to complete, and when you find them, they're not usually cheap. So,
No, I got you, but like for that book, I always see him put like 50, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Another Fathom that came from Erod, and then I'm working on my Miracle Man run. I have most of the run at this point, but for some reason I was missing number 4, so I picked up number 4, and now I'm just missing the last 2 issues.
We have like 5 copies of number 4.
Oh, well, now we got an extra.
Yeah, no offense. That's the only copy we get a ton of because it's him standing there in like a lunchroom.
It's not a rare book. I don't know why I didn't have it. I'm sure I could have found
weird,
it in
huh?
dollar bin.
You probably have passed that through your hands so many times.
Oh, I absolutely have. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my copy. I was sorting them the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm missing number 4. The rest of these, I think, were all dollar books except for this. This was not $1.
What a great book!
Yeah. So happy to have that. This was actually one of my goals for 2024 was to get a copy of this. It was actually a goal for 2023, and I failed. So I got this. It's a mid-grade copy, but I got it for $10.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm having a problem with my 2023 goal. I moved it to this year. Was the Captain Marvel Jr. in the electric chair?
Mm-hmm.
I know I can get it for 150 or 200 max.
Yeah.
Especially with comic books going down, it's good.
Right.
But now stuff comes out that I want, like G.I. Joe came out. You know what I mean?
My big one's still House of Secrets 92. So the year's only half over. We'll see what happens.
Let's see, man.
I got a bunch of dollar bin scores. So something.
Oh, that's the one I pulled, right? Or no?
No, this is the one you pulled.
Oh, was that the one you needed or no?
Yeah, I needed it.
Oh, excellent.
Yep. So I'm down to missing 2 issues from the original Swamp Thing right now. I have all the rights and ones, the expensive ones. The rest of them, I'll find them for a couple bucks a piece when I do.
True.
Now this was a good score for $1. It's the first. It's when the title changes.
Number 50, right?
Yep. I got let's see here, a few Charlton Space Adventures books with some Captain Atom stories in them. Steve Ditko art in both of those.
Oh man,
love stuff like that.
They had the reprint that Royal was selling for $1.
Yeah, I love getting the original Charlton stuff.
Yeah, of course. But I saw that and I was like, oh, I'll leave the reprints.
Yeah. All right, I got Dave Stevens cover for $1.
Oh wow, that's not the half issue, right?
Sorry,
it's not a Wizard half, right?
No, it's not. Got an issue of Weird War Tales that I needed.
Very cool.
2 issues of Iron Fist.
Oh, nice.
2 issues of Fantastic Four. The first Terrax and the first Herbie.
Nice. But those are in the hundreds, right?
Sorry.
Those are in the hundreds. Those issues.
Early 200s.
Early 200s. Right before Burn.
Yeah. I got Nancy and Sluggo.
Nice.
Some more Charlton horror. I got the Many Ghosts of Dr. Graves and Ghostly Tales. Again,
Somehow
anytime
that cover is killing me. The one with the guy with the horns.
yeah, guy with the horns he's pretty spooky. That guy. Watch out for him. He's got a skull. And then I got a Ghost Rider #8.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then a really low grade copy of Werewolf by Night #2, but for $1.
Yeah.
So some more Charlton sci-fi, some more Charlton horror, and then a really cool Charles Burns cover on Dope Comics #5.
Didn't somebody else post that? I think Heroes
I
Reborn
posted
found
it
it.
last night, so you
No,
probably
you posted it last night, but before he posted it.
oh maybe I don't know.
Yeah, and you were like, "That's great," and now you found it. I'm glad you found it.
And then I needed issue 1 and issue 3 of Robert Crumb's Id, so I got those. I already had issue 2. That was it. Pretty good haul. I was happy.
You brought back a book from Desert Island for me too.
Yes, I don't have that in front of me. Do you have it?
Yeah, let me think. It was right here because I didn't put it far, so I can grab it.
Okay.
And then, of course, I put it far. Give me 1 second. Oh no, it was right on the 2 other books I bought. I bought books from my own store of my partner in there because I didn't get a chance to. Yeah, Bogeyman #1 comics, and you know this better than me. So do you mind telling the story of this one?
Yeah, so that reprints the Boogeyman comics that Rory Hayes published in, I don't know if it was the late 60s or the early 70s. I think it was the late 60s. It's essentially like an EC horror comic drawn by a young guy on LSD. That's the easiest way to describe it. And it's accurate too, from what I understand. He was literally on acid while he was drawing this stuff, if the stories are true. And as you flip through it, you can kind of tell that, like, maybe he was sort of on a different plane than the rest of us while he was working on this stuff. It's bizarre. And the originals, to track them down, first of all, they're very difficult to find. Second of all, if you do find them, they're usually beat to crap, like most old underground stuff. And they're very expensive. They can be hundreds of dollars each. So when it got reprinted, and I found out that the reprint existed, I went down to Desert Island and I got the last 2 copies, one for me and one for you. So
That's awesome. Thank you.
yeah,
All right. I actually have 2 more books to pick up. I want to show off.
sure.
A friend of mine put out a comic in 2023, and I didn't know about it, named Nate Doyle, called Dungeon Mage. I might have put this in the other show, but I haven't had a chance to put it away, And I love
I know that
people
book.
doing their own stuff.
What is it, like a D&D type thing?
Yep.
Cool.
And this is a guy that's known in the punk rock community for doing T-shirts and album covers, and they're phenomenal. There's a lot of 7 inches.
What's his name?
So I just saw something I didn't know. Nate Doyle.
Okay.
Look him up on Instagram. He's excellent. Actually, what caught me off guard is that I grabbed this book called Star Trek: The Debt of Honor, one of DC Comics' version of graphic novels. It's this one. I didn't realize it's Chris Claremont and Adam Hughes.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, me neither at all. I just grabbed this just to have it.
Right.
For my because in these magazine holders is graphic novels from Marvel. Marvel has, I think, 77, but Star Trek, I mean, DC didn't really put out like a diehard DC fan had to figure out how many came out for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it throws you off. You're like, oh, what the hell is this?
I think
I wanted them all. You know what I mean?
I think the only DC graphic novel I have that was part of that series is Jack Kirby's Hunger Dogs.
Yes, that's the most expensive one from that set, and I think it's the ugliest.
I got lucky. I found it for $5 a couple of weeks ago.
That's the best, bro. I think I need a copy. I'm not sure, but the reason I say it's ugly is because instead of having a full wall of art, it's like where you have the DC graphic around it or the trade dress, and then in the middle is the artwork.
Yeah, the trade dress is bad.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's not eye-catching. It's not exciting.
Yeah, I haven't had time to read it yet. I'm excited to because it's
it's the end of Kirby's run.
Yeah, it's Fourth World stuff, and the Fourth World stuff is my favorite work that Kirby's done. I like that. So it's trippy and strange, and doesn't always make a lot of sense, but I love it.
Well,
So,
then to go back to my Lego story earlier on in this episode, I got Mr. Miracle,
oh, okay,
and that's what made me angry is that he's so tiny compared to all my other stuff.
right.
And how am I going to put him in the traps when his hands don't fit? And it's a lot of pain in the ass.
This is very much a first world problem.
Yes, yes, yeah. But it's funny how like it came back to it because it's Mr. Miracle and it's my favorite character. And then the other book I picked up, I don't know what company this is. It just says Golden. Flash Gordon the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I guess it says Williamson, the artist.
Al Williamson, probably.
Al Williamson. I love stuff like this. I'm a big Flash Gordon guy.
He was also an EC guy, and he did a lot of work on the Star Wars newspaper strips.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, so if you find the collected, I know you're more of a Star Wars guy than I am. If you find the collected editions of the Star Wars newspaper strips, if I'm remembering correctly, a lot of those are drawn by Al Williamson. He's a great sci-fi artist. He's really talented.
That's on my list of actually finances to be caught up with. I hate the fact that GI. All right, I'll tell this GI Joe one since we have a little bit of time left. How much time do we have? Because I see
3 minutes.
3 minutes. All right, GI Joe came out with a Kickstarter of every single GI Joe book ever. So this weekend, I'm going to sell all my GI Joe single issues to raise the $350 to pay for this sucker. I have to justify it by getting rid of all the other GI Joe books.
That's the financially responsible way to do it.
That's the best I can do. But my big collection that now I've caught up with work and some debt is my Epic collections. And people are quitting collecting them, which drives me a little crazy because I love them. But Star Wars is my final one I'm going to collect in there. I'm not doing any of the anything recent because I have all the current trades in a way of collection.
Okay.
But I love having everything. And the newspaper strips is the very last thing I'm going to get.
Yeah.
But let's sign off on is there anything you're going to look for this weekend while you're in Frazetta?
I don't know what to expect. I'm sure they have a gift shop, and I'm sure I won't leave empty-handed.
Fair. Once I reach 350, I will go shopping at the comic convention. But it's 2 days. I'm hoping we're bringing a lot of dollar books. We're bringing a lot of DVDs. I didn't realize all those Netflix shows are $75 each from the superhero ones.
Oof.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring all of that. We're gonna make this. We're gonna be the end all be all for a lot of stuff. And let's see how it goes. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So sorry for another mixed up episode, folks.
That's
but
what we
I'm
do.
Billy Bombs.
I'm Ian. We'll talk to you later.
See you later, brother.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Queen's Coming Podcast.